Are Louis Vuitton fragrances worth it? Let's talk about it.
Here's some codes to save you some cash on your next Middle Eastern niche or designer fragrances.
What's going on, guys? My name is Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. Today we're going to be talking about my latest fragrance haul from Louis Vuitton. It's going to be including certain fragrances, why I bought it, a lot of information to really consume here, so buckle in, get your popcorn ready, and let's just go ahead and freaking talk about it.
That's good.
So yesterday, exactly yesterday, from making this video, I went into Louis Vuitton and I got about 3 bags of stuff from there, okay? I bought a couple of things that it's been a long time coming. I've really been wanting to grab these. I've saved for a long time, and I finally decided, you know what? I want to reward myself. I've been working really hard. I haven't really taken any vacations in a while. I wanted to spoil myself a little bit. I've been traveling a lot, and for those travels, different things, investments, also for events, beautiful events, fragrance events, man, those are so freaking fun, but they cost a lot. So I'd love to do it a lot more often, and hopefully, and God willing, in the near future, I will be able to do exactly that and meet you wonderful people. That's the best part of it all. It's not even seeing the fragrances, although that is like such a great part of this whole thing. Well, the whole thing is the passion of fragrance, but truly and unexpectedly for me, and I say this as genuine as possible, I'm just being transparent. It humbles me to see people look up to me, etc. And when I do meet somebody and they're excited to meet me, it's extremely humbling, and I definitely keep myself grounded, and I remind them that, hey, we're the same, man. It's all good. We're all sharing this love and passion, and I freaking love you guys first, and then fragrance, genuinely. First, you know, beginning this whole thing, I just loved fragrance. I didn't even know you guys, but now I do love you guys. So today we're gonna be talking about quite a few things. I bought about 2 sling bags that I've been seeing a lot of guys rocking, you know, whatever, and I didn't really care for it too much, and usually and generally speaking, I'm not that materialistic. I'll give you my personal justification, although it doesn't really matter, right? But just a little side note later on. But I bought 2 sling bags, and I also bought a couple more fragrances. Let's start off with first addressing whether or not Louis Vuitton fragrances are worth it. When I first started talking about Louis Vuitton fragrances, I would have immediately said no, absolutely not. You're paying for the brand, you're paying for, you know, it's just freaking a show. Maybe there was subconsciously some kind of, you know, personal feelings or personal anger towards the fact that it's selling for so expensive, people are dying of hunger, and that's still pretty damn true. However, there were a lot of factors that didn't come into play until later on, understanding the manufacturing standpoint, understanding the different perspectives, stepping in different shoes, and really enjoying these fragrances in a different light. So to kind of give back a little bit, because I think it's a little selfish if I were to just talk about these and not really give back, is I'm gonna be including every single sample into a giveaway. USA only, and I think, you guys, there's like maybe $250 worth of samples. Don't quote me for it, but there's a lot of money worth of samples that I have here today, okay? And we'll talk about which samples. So just go ahead and put hashtag AROMATIX in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like, comment, the hashtag AROMATIX, no space, and subscribe. In 5 days from making this video, check the community tab. Please make sure to share the video. I think it's a great way. I mean, do you want to spend $200 for samples? Go for it. You want a chance? Just put a comment and click subscribe. I would do it personally, seriously. 5 days, check the community tab. I'm gonna post the winner. Do not respond to any telegrams or asking for money. I'm not gonna ask you for any of that stuff, okay? So be safe. And if you're the winner, make sure to DM me on Instagram or send me an email, which you can find in the link requests down in the description at the very bottom. So like I was saying, I got a bunch of fragrances, and I ended up buying a lot of them. And the reason is because from a manufacturing standpoint, this is where it really changed the game for me. But not only manufacturing standpoint, it was understanding it from different shoes. So Louis Vuitton is known as this luxury brand, okay? And that's the audience that they cater to, plain and simple. So think about your business people, the people who are basically using it to like, write off, allegedly.
A year's salary right here. What I call them? Fun coupons. See that? A fun coupon.
Right? Write-offs, allegedly. So it also caters to those people, you know, they do marketing through a lot of popular singers, famous artists, etc. And that's why it became this such big brand, but also quality, okay? There's a lot of quality with Louis Vuitton, but they also do a lot of successful and smart marketing, just like with many of the other fragrances, etc. And that's how you really do things. Cheapies, niche, etc. We're not gonna go into that muddy water, but it does do a very successful job. They've been around for a long time, and aside from marketing, they do have some outstanding quality. Whether or not the quality matches the price point, that's another story, but we are paying a premium for the name and the label itself, which I think there's no problem with that. They've been around for a long time, they've done a lot of the work, and they're here for a reason. Quality materials. I've purchased a lot of duffel bags from Louis Vuitton. I have some monogram style ones, some embossed, etc. So I'm not innocent of that. I have purchased some Christopher bags, the book bags, and I love their stuff, and I've had them for like 10+ years, and they don't go bad. Like, if they do go bad, you take it back to the store, they fix fix it for you and you're set. It's almost like this lifetime warranty style thing. And that's really why I buy other brands that do similar styles like this, like Canada Goose. If you combine the entire like 10 years of something that you would buy, like for instance a coat, you're probably gonna buy about 3 to 4 coats. And each coat, if you want any certain kind of quality or any quality at all, it's gonna be at least $250 to $300 for something that's heavy, at least for winters in Michigan, if it is even that heavy or heavy enough at that price point. So spending $1,000 on a coat, although seems ridiculous, it has lasted me over 10 years. And if anything happens, you take it back. Very similar with Louis Vuitton stuff. If you frequently look for bags or frequently travel or frequently, you know, are in that demographic, then this brand makes sense. You take it back, you get it fixed. They do definitely give you some value. And that's the very same case with the fragrances. From a manufacturing standpoint, the quality of ingredients in this, when deciphered and actually broken down, reveals that they actually use high quality ass ingredients. And that's why you saw a sudden shift from me personally, from they're overrated to they're actually worth it, is because once I saw the reports of what they're broken down into, I was a believer. Although it does get broken down to the highest of quality, and even the highest of quality of juice is not gonna cost that much, I saw a couple of other aspects that gained me as a customer. They also have like this refill thing. I believe it was 50% off. If you finish your bottle, you take it in, it was 50% off once upon a time, and they'll just refill it for you. But I guess after they got a little bit smarter with the whole decanting business and people doing that, etc., they started saying, no, we're just gonna give you about $100 off. Although I still think that that's kind of a little greedy because they make more than enough money. They should still keep it at the 50% off, considering the fact that the small one retails for around, I believe it's $377 or $350, I'm not sure. And for the big one, it's around $470 to $500 after taxes, etc. And these are for the regular collection, not the, sculpture ones or the black bottled, the signature line or luxury line or whatever it is. They're all luxury. Why have a luxury line? So one of the unique things that they do have is they have tanks in the back. They actually go to the back and fill your bottle with fresh juice. A lot of times their fragrances sell out. There's a lot of hype to it. I do think the hype might be just slightly inflated. Actually, it is pretty inflated, but they're good quality products. Now, the audience that I see this to really suit and cater to is going to be those that have extra cash, for sure. Or if you don't have extra cash, you like that lavish lifestyle. And there's nothing wrong with it. The marketing suggests it, you believe it. You know, it's simple things in life that makes us happy. In cases where you can afford to, then there's nothing wrong with it. But if you can't afford to and you're still trying to reach for it, then I suggest you check out some of my other videos. Wink, wink. With that considered, I find like these fragrances to be the perfect like yacht fragrances. It's people with money, people that live on the coast. For a lot of their fragrances, it's people that have like that yacht lifestyle, you know, like you live on the beach, you go to the beach a lot, you're in Miami, you're going to Vegas. That's the audience, or that's the style of a lot of their fragrances. And when you see it in that light, you really start to appreciate it. Being in Michigan, dude, it's like 6 to 7 months of freaking winter time. I would say about 80% of their fragrances are like fresh fragrances. There's no way I could have appreciated it. Now that the summertime hit, started revisiting it, seeing it in a different light, thinking about vacation, and they're freaking magical. A lot of them are, okay? So whether or not you think they're worth it, it's completely subjective, but from an objective standpoint, the quality and the materials, etc., are top freaking notch. We're talking about the polish on the glass, the small details, etc. I think they could do better with the labels of the actual name, because if I'm not mistaken, this can come off, the Orage, so they definitely should step their game up when the name's on the bottle itself. But the glass, it's premium polish. You can sense it, you can feel it, the magnet cap, premium quality stuff as well. All the mumbo jumbo out of the way, let's get into the boxes and see what I purchased. Another experience with Louis Vuitton is the presentation and the packaging. When you go into their brand, you get an experience in totality. It's similar to those other brands that do something like that, like Le Labo. A lot of their prices are inflated because you get more than just the fragrance in itself. And you really have to be an enthusiast to enjoy it. This is not for people who are just trying to look for a fragrance, spray it on, and walk out and be good. And this is gonna be a lengthy video because when you're spending this kind of money, it should be a lengthy experience. So buckle in. All right, box presentation looks like so. When you walk in, they go to the back, they get your selection, they actually go back there, they package it, they put it in the box like this, they place a ribbon, and they also cover it in some wrapping that looks like this right here, okay? So they covered in this, it's got a Louis Vuitton sticker on the inside of the box, which is also magnetic. You get a similar cutout to this where the box rests in place like so. This cutout right here also places a few samples, literally 2 samples, and that's what you get, okay? Bottle presentation and packaging are relatively simple, and this is another aspect or a place where I think they could definitely improve. So this is California Dream, one of the ones that I sniffed initially for first impression. I'm getting really tired of going to the store back and forth. So I decided to just buy them because I know I'm going to end up buying them anyway for the purpose of reviewing, etc. I think that their introduction to the market with their fragrances was a very pivotal point in fragrance because of the talk, the hype, etc. And I feel just as a reviewer in myself, these have value, having them, breaking them down, talking about them, and really having them as a piece for years to come to talk about. So the presentation and see whether or not they improve things, they degrade or downgrade, and be a part of the whole talk. You don't necessarily have to go and buy it to be a part of the talk. You just watch, share your comments down in the comment section. Don't enter the giveaway, you don't have to, it's all good. But this is what the bottle presentations look like, okay? It's pretty, I would say this is cheap style, okay? It's, I don't even want to call it cardboard, man, but it is like paper. It's paper, it's thick paper with California Dream written all over it. Comes in a tube like this, which is also thick cardboard in itself as well. On the top, it's plastic, has the LV logo as well. And on the inside, it's felt lined and it's in there pretty snug. I will give them that. On the bottom, absolutely nothing there. Presentation, the box and stuff, I give this like a 4 out of 10. Like straight up a 4 out of 10. Especially when you're spending this kind of money. I understand that they're putting it in like the box, etc. But this was about $500. For it to be in this, I think is, yeah, they can definitely do better. So I'm gonna give you guys the first impressions for this fragrance and the other fragrances that I bought, but I'll also be brushing up a little bit on the other and the rest of the collection. And from here, if you're subscribed and you have your notifications, you'll catch some of the other future videos where I talk about any of the other ones that are first impressions and certain full reviews, and then just do a compilation video of, I know where your mind went, compilation video of all of them together, and basically a buying guide and rated top, top 10 or top 15, or just rated in general, all of the Louis V's in my collection. California Dream isn't one that I initially appreciated. Louis Vuitton has a lot of fragrances, and when I initially went in there, I like to focus on 1 or 2 for quite some time, and maybe 3 at the most. California Dream is one of those that I just quickly sniffed and just said no. And then finally, once I was able to place aside the other fragrances because I determined whether or not I actually like it, this is another one that I shifted my attention towards and I actually enjoyed. It was fresh, a little bit musky, and that's another thing that's common across the boards with a lot of Louis Vuitton fragrances, is they have a musk that's in common or common throughout all of their fragrances, as with many other brands. They call it a proprietary blend. So it's a distinctive fragrance note or accord, something that you smell basically, of a combination of notes. I would imagine it comes from musks, like with many other brands, not all of them, but many other, that they use across the boards, and it's definitely in this one as well. California Dream has notes of orange, mandarin orange, pear, musk, ambrette, and benzoin. I personally love the combination of pear and ambrette. It works in a lot of other fragrances, and it works in this one. Beautiful, fruity, powdery, watery, and juicy. That's the note. It's like this musk and water combination that they have across a lot of their fragrances. When you smell a lot of the Louis V fragrances, they have this classic old school style musk. Very similar to that of like Chanel. If you look at the Chanel Allure line, they have that signature musk, or even the Dior Homme cologne. They have that signature musk, and this one exactly reminds me of something like that. Dior Homme cologne with a lot more fruits, and it seems like a lot more body. If you like Dior Homme cologne, go and sniff it in that light. A very hot summer, warm day where you want something that's fresh, citrusy, airy, light, and a little bit fruity. An excellent fragrance, first impressions. This is a solid, easy daily wear. This is a daily wear fragrance for the summertime. You could signature scent that easily. Also, another important factor, ladies and gentlemen, these are unisex fragrances. I can see a woman rocking this easily. I actually met a lady in the Louis Vuitton store, and she smelled Imagination. She actually loved it. She said, I want to wear it myself. Do you think I can? It's a fragrance. Absolutely you can. Imagination is not one that I've personally grown to appreciate or could get into because it has a note that gives me a headache I must be allergic to, and it's the tea accord, similar to that of Petitgrain. There's just a lot of notes for certain people that doesn't do well with them, and that for me is those two. Next fragrance we're going to be talking about is On the Beach. On the Beach by Louis Vuitton. Let's take a look at the bottle presentation as well. This is exactly the same thing. They're all just going to have different colors. In my opinion, it remains the same about the bottle presentations. This is, yeah, it's very... I mean, I honestly, personally, when I see something like this, I wouldn't think or imagine that I spent that much on it. This bottle, and there you go. So, On the Beach. Love the color gradient. Looks like the sunset on the beach. Although I don't like the note of tea, I love aromatic freshies. I just could do away with the tea. This is exactly that. It's got notes of yuzu, neroli, rosemary, thyme, sand, cloves, pink pepper, and cypress. A lot of this on the beach, literally on the beach vibe, okay? These fragrances are actual experiences. I didn't really emphasize much on California Dream because that was a genuine first impression. This one right here is one that I lived through with a sample in itself. I got a sample of On the Beach when I purchased Pacific Chill, and I finally got to wear it after I got over the whole Pacific Chill and really lived through them, experienced them, and broke them down, and I fell in love with On the Beach. It places me personally on literally the beach, except you've got a little bit of a suntan and slightly sunburn. It gives me that burnt skin vibe. Weird, I know, but specifically with some aloe vera lotion. But you also have like this freshly squeezed juice on the side coming from this juicy and borderline citron styled yuzu. So strong, punchy citrus at the top, but also refined and pretty heavily dosed in this neroli as well. The white floral softens it out, and you've got a lot of these aromatics and specifically the sand. Salty without really smelling off-putting. When it placed this on skin, it didn't make me smell salty. It was an overall really well blended fragrance that dries down pretty woody while still remaining or retaining some of that freshness coming from the top. Truly enjoy this one, and if you like fragrances like Pacific Chill, which has that distinctive apricot and some aromatic nature to it, you're likely to enjoy On the Beach. But like I said, this one is an experience for sure. See it in that light, you're going to appreciate it for what it is. California Dream we'll get to when I start to wear it and really decipher what it places me in, at least. Next one is City of Stars. This is another one that I didn't appreciate at first because I didn't understand it. I just smelled it and I was like, why would you want to smell like this? But I understood the scent profile after really wearing it and getting an idea of it and placing myself in that yacht mood, right? It made sense to me and solidified the idea when I looked at the actual image on the bottle itself. A lot of times these subtle details we don't really think about or don't really look at when we're smelling these fragrances, but this is one that I think they absolutely got the whole picture of with. And I could say the same for On the Beach because it actually placed me exactly there. The image on the box is nighttime with a palm tree, so nighttime on the beach, and that's exactly what this one placed me in. Of all of the fragrances, this is going to be the one that has the most powdery vibe. So notes of this fragrance include lime, blood orange, blood mandarin, lemon, bergamot. There's also the tiare flower or tiare flower. Their powdery notes musk and sandalwood. So it has that signature musk as well. And this is one that dries down into like that on the beach suntan, you know, borderline sunburn with some lotion and aloe vera without the juice anymore. You're no longer on the beach, but rather you're on the boardwalk. And you and your date are walking to go get some dinner or some lunch or an evening date, dinner date. That's exactly what this one is. It's an evening dinner date on the beach. It's perfect in that light. Or you're on your yacht and it's nighttime and you're about to, you know, have some lobsters and ending the night without the sun blazing on you. You kind of want to cool things off. You want to smell like things are cooling off. That's exactly what this one is. You started the day with On the Beach, bright, fun, citruses, a little bit of aromatics. You can smell the beach. Literally, you've got this suntan, sun is blazing, and you and your date are now leaving. You're going back to the yacht or you're going to get a special evening dinner date. You're still outside, but the sun isn't blazing anymore. You've got a lot more lotion on and you smell like this, City of Stars. That's exactly what it recreates for me. And for that reason and for that recreation, freaking love it. I'm literally transported into that exact scene right now. I'm on a boardwalk in Virginia Beach, hey, or Ocean City, Maryland. Check that place out, it's amazing. And I'm rocking this. That's exactly what I'd be rocking at night. Nighttime, evening dates, evening walks on the beach, City of Stars. Next time you sniff it in that light, and I could almost guarantee you'll see a new appreciation or find a new appreciation for it, like with many of these other fragrances. So I'm just giving you guys my opinion on what these draw or illustrate for me. And next time you go and sniff it, try and see it in that light and see if you grow a new appreciation for it. On the Beach is almost literally what I drew in my head for me, and City of Stars is exactly that as well. The next one and the newest one added to the collection is going to be California Dream. Last but not least is called Sur la Rue. This is what the bottles look like if you get the small ones, and I mean, this is even worse than the bigger bottle presentation. I understand that they're probably passing it off for like, you know, not wanting to create waste, but waste is waste regardless, and they can use the same cardboard. So same style cardboard, but this is even thinner. On the top, you get this tin can style, ration style stuff. I don't even know what that is. And this is what the bottle looks like. Significantly lighter, obviously 100 mLs. Classification for this fragrance would be citrus, fresh, and green. That's exactly what it reminds me of too. A nice blast of some citruses, distinctively lemon, some peppers. It's not going to be abrasive by any means because it does have that refined Louis Vuitton musk, but it also has a base of the woody nature coming from Isoe Super, but also some leather, patchouli, Peru balsam, some grass, along with lemon, really recreating this whole lemongrass vibe. It feels like a family of fragrances very similar to Arage actually, but I think that this one's better than Arage. It has a couple of more facets and it's likely to last a little bit longer longer than Orage as well because of the fact it has more notes, has more accords, and it's gonna last and linger a little bit longer. I haven't given it an actual testing, but I have for Orage. Orage is not the most, a little bit underwhelming in terms of performance. Still smells pretty good, has this dry woody nature to it, slightly lumberjack, and this has that nature to it too, with more interesting factors to it. The top, the opening, opens up much more citrus forward, attention grabbing, a really, really good one. Sadly and unfortunately, I think it might be getting discontinued because if you notice, this is the one that I got in 100 ml, and the only reason I got it in 100 ml is because of the fact that they don't have it anymore. And when I looked it up, there was some talk about it actually being discontinued, potentially because of certain notes, maybe that grass or something, maybe new regulations, etc. It's gonna cut through a lot of weathers. I think this one's gonna be a pretty high performer, and this is generally speaking what they do before they regulate or moderate a certain fragrance note, and then we end up saying, oh my god, it's weak sauce, they reformulated, etc. Generally speaking, for the most part, it's gonna be because of IFRA, not because of Louis Vuitton, but there are certain brands that do cut it out. So take it for what you will. I'm not 100% sure whether or not it's getting discontinued, but if you like Orage, check out Sur La Rue. I think you're gonna enjoy it a little bit more. It packs quite a bit more of a punch as well. Orage is still a pretty decent fragrance. No breakdown for Sur La Rue is citruses, Calabrian bergamot, lemon, pink pepper. In the mid, there's grass, nutmeg, hedione, and cardamom. And in the base, leather cedar, patchouli, Peru balsam, and isoe super. A lot of heavy suggesting notes or suggestive notes, but this is actually quite light, quite nice, and very nice in the air for sure. You get a lot of this lemon verbena style fragrance that turns into and transitions into something a bit more woody, serious, masculine, and quite a decent dose of isoe super, projecting fragrance as well that I would imagine will last longer than Orage. So let's go ahead and just brush up really quick on some of these other fragrances that I have, which is Orage. It's exactly as I described. It's just a lot lighter than Sur La Rue. It doesn't have the Peru balsam, if I'm not mistaken, or the leather accord, and for that reason it doesn't really last that long. It's isoe super, which a lot of people go nose blind to. L'Immensité, I think, is the #1 fragrance from the entire collection. It has this classic musky nature. It smells like old school modernized fragrances, signature fragrances for men. It has that Chanel Allure style musk. It's kind of old school, but it's brought back and I can appreciate it for sure. That's signature scent worthy. I freaking love it. This is my only regret. It's gonna be afternoon swim purchasing a bottle of that because of the fact that it just doesn't last. I would still personally buy it again because of all of the other reasons that I mentioned in the beginning and earlier part of the video. Having the entire collection, being able to reference, etc. And this next one I think is a banger. It's Pacific Chill. It's not for everybody. I recognize that, and it can be one of the most unisex, slightly feminine leaning as well freshies. It has this apricot, recreates like this fuzzy vibe, milky texture almost, or a milky nature to the fragrance that's fuzzy, fresh, and aromatic. It has something that's very herbal to it too, but it lasts a hell of a long time. I get at least 8 hours with Pacific Chill. I did have a Trap Reeves for women. I sold that one off because of the fact that I'm never going to spray that one. And then the other one that I really enjoy for women is Cure Bouton. I think that one's a great one. Spell on You is another one that I thought I was going to really like. In the beginning, it smells amazing, but as it starts to dry down, I'm like, I don't know about it. One of the other fragrances that I thought I was gonna pick up is Nuit de Fouet, and this one has like this very rich olibanum, incense, oudi combination and smoky nature to it. For me personally, it speaks to me. I'm Middle Eastern descent, and that's the style and nature of fragrances that I personally like, but it's one that I might revisit later on in the future and potentially pick up a bottle. I'm not sure, because with those DNAs, since I've grown up smelling them, I have a lot that smells like it already. Similar style to Ombre Nomade. I think Ombre Nomade is a phenomenal fragrance from the house, and if you're interested in grabbing that, I think it's a great selection. Just, I personally, like I said, same case scenario with that one. And they do have another one, I think it's called Le Sable Rose or something like that, the black ones. There's one more that I think I really enjoy that I might potentially pick up and talk about in the near future. For now, these are the ones that I truly enjoy and have added to the collection, all for a different reason. Before we get into what else I bought from Louis Vuitton, let's talk about the samples. We have a couple of samples of Orage. There's 2 of them, and these are all 2 mls. So 2 mls of Orage, 4 mls total of Orage. There is 4 mls total of L'Immensité, one of the best ones. There is 2 mls of City of Stars, the one that smells like the summer date night, basically. 1 2 ml of Imagination, and then there's also a 2 ml of Pure Bouton. I sprayed a little bit of this, and also Spell on You. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the samples that are gonna be included in the giveaway. All of the details are in the beginning of the video. As I said, hashtag aromatics in the comment section, like, subscribe, and share the video if you would ever be so kind to do so. That would really help me. Thank you.